If you have a player or a youth or a kid or a college player or a pro player, anybody in the basketball community that is playing basketball currently, what I want to get my message out today about is the negativity that some are trying to surround our sport with. And I think that it's going to take a community effort from the basketball, parents and players and coaches to combat this and to make this, to get back to the positivity of coaching. Youth sports has always been like a misnomer. It's always been, there's been the good and the bad and the ugly, as they say. But there's always been, certain aspects of it that have been, a little more ugly than what they have been good. And right now we're going through this phase where everyone wants to criticize everyone. Social media is a great platform, and I do a lot of work on social media, and I do a lot of things on social media. I've met a lot of great people on social media, and I've got my message out a lot on social media. But also on social media, it gives us the opportunity to criticize others, and in that criticism, we have other people who jump on that criticism because they want to criticize people too. And instead of inspiring people and uplifting people, we get into a habit of always criticizing others. And that seems what seems to get more followers and more people views and more likes and more clicks and more comments and make things go viral. Somebody hating on someone else. And I don't understand that concept. But you're not going to change that concept. I've spent some days and some weeks here now, trying to be a little bit more active on some of the social media platforms and answering some basketball questions. And I have come across the negative aspects of somebody criticizing someone else, or criticizing someone else's techniques, or coaching abilities, or coaching philosophies. And I understand where they're coming from in a lot of ways. And there's been a lot of things going on just about trainers and coaches and terminology and things like that. I understand that to a point, but what I don't understand is why we only can do that criticizing. I use a lot of terminology that fits some of my kids and other terminology that fits other of my players. I kind of have gotten a repertoire with each player, so I kind of know what keywords work for them and what keywords don't work for them. And when I use certain keywords with certain players, it seems to remind them mentally of what we're trying to work on at that moment. Does that mean my terminology is perfect? Does that mean my terminology is what you should be doing? Does that mean the way that I say things, post things, and teach my players is the only way to do so? That's absolutely asinine. That doesn't even make sense. It's the furthest thing from the truth. What it means is I'm trying to spend every day and every moment I have educating myself, teaching myself, and trying to adapt those learnings to fit the players that I meet today, the players I met yesterday, and the players I'm going to meet tomorrow. And try to find that common thread that helps that certain aspect click in their head so they can become better players. That's my goal. It doesn't mean my terminology is perfect, doesn't mean my terminology is wrong, doesn't mean someone else's terminology is wrong. It's how they're meeting their players. I think we need to look at the aspects of the positive sides that trainers, girls and guys are trying to do coaching kids rather than worried about the terminology. Watching somebody's Instagram video, degrading people or casting down on people's abilities because of the amount of followers they have. More power to you guys. Love the fact that some of you guys have these unbelievably followings. Think that's terrific. I actually have a small following, and I think that's terrific. I appreciate that following. I appreciate the people who are in it, and I appreciate the people who follow me and comment and likes and all of that just as much as anyone else does. But I'm going to do those things without degrading somebody else, without talking negatively about the way someone else does something. There's something I can learn from almost every individual, every coach that's in the basketball community. I go to lots of camps, lots of clinics, lots of college practices, lots of other high school practices, lots of scrimmages, and I'll watch how other people communicate with their players, how other people respond to such situations, how players respond to certain situations, how referees make calls, and learn from that. And say, these are the things that I need to bring to my players. These are the things we need to work on, and these are the things I want to be able to teach. Or this is where I think overall we're losing a little bit of fundamentals in this aspect. So I want to strengthen up my players so they'll be ones that have those aspects. And so I think that right there is all important. I think that right there is needs to be done. And I think it needs to be done with a force of positivity and a thought process that we're doing what's best for our players. And I'm not going to criticize if what you're doing is working for your kids. People are paying you. Our kids are showing up to work with you, and you're showing up on time. You're enthusiastic about being there. You're showing positivity. You're putting your stuff out there trying to get your kids, a little bit of notice, a little bit of social media love. We never know what coach is watching. We never know what possibility. A few years ago, I had a kid shoot, I think it was like 134 free throws in a row. Posted it online. He got like 2 or 3 phone calls that day from college coaches who were interested. Hey, he hit 134 in a row. Yeah, he did. Can I talk to him? It takes one clip. One person seeing something. One person, you fit in the one person system. That's what it takes, and that's what these guys are trying to do. Sometimes it is a rah, 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 me thing. And if that it is, I have the ability to swipe by it and move on. And if it's not that, then I have a possibility to learn. I have a possibility to gain some knowledge. Maybe I see something I don't want to do. And I think to myself, I don't want to try that. But maybe I do see something that I do want to do, or something I want to learn more about, or something I'm thinking, okay, he's working that fundamental, he must have seen a deficiency somewhere. Maybe I should take a look at that fundamental with my kids. I might not correct it the same way he is, but I'm going to find what works for me. That might not be the terminology I use, but that must be some keywords he's using for him or for her. So I might want to consider those and keep those in my bank. Keep those in my treasure chest so I can use those sometime. We spend so much of our day, or so much of our time in this basketball world, looking to critique or to criticize someone else. And then we expect players to get on the court and not criticize or critique their teammates or the opponents or the referees. Why would we expect them not to portray the same behaviors that we're portraying in public? We are leaders and mentors. That's what coaches and teachers are. So if we lead and mentor with positivity and an open mind and ability to problem solve, then our players will do the same. And now we're bringing up a whole different group of players. Now we're bringing up a whole different group of young people. Now we're bringing up people who can not only prosper on the basketball court, but off the basketball court. And that's what our ultimate goal should be. Ultimate goal every morning shouldn't be, who can I criticize on social media? Find a positive outlook. This video is not going to change anyone's outlook tomorrow. It's not going to change anybody's views today. Not a large majority of you anyway. But if one person watches this and one person scans by somebody's drill that they don't agree with and says, today I'm not going to take that bait. Today I'm not going to comment on that. I don't give that man a like. I don't like what he's doing, but I'm going to give him a like because he's there showing up working with young people. And that guy gets that like. That might be the only like he gets that day. That might be the 1,000th like he gets that day. But no matter what, that like, that action, that positive reinforcement gets him up the next day. Gets him to that next training session with energy. Not only then have you affected your kids by being positive and not being negative and degrading somebody else, but you've also affected him, his family, and you have affected his players. So you've reached players you didn't even know that you could touch. Let's try that. Let's try bringing positivity back into coaching. Let's make coaching and training a brotherhood. We work hand in hand, one-on-one together. We can reach the most amount of kids and make the biggest difference if we do those things. Let's leave negativity for negative people. And let's bring positive people with positive results, trying to work on positive things up. This is Coach Rowe. Players first. Keep shooting.